was a close one for David Moyes. I really do think that. It was massively important. He couldn't afford to lose that game. I could sense the knives being sharpened, and Moyes knew it as well. I don't know if you caught the review. Myself and Gio had slightly different opinions about what we'd seen in the first half. Gio thought we hadn't played too badly. I thought we were pretty damn poor. I think David Moyes was probably more in my camp than Gio's. My goodness, if looks could kill, really. He was, I mean, he would have given them, never mind how much it rained, their hair would have been dry at half times. He would have given them the hairdryer treatment, that's for sure. And he was pretty ruthless with his substitutions. Pleased to see it, by the way. You know, more ruthless substitutions, please, David Moyes. Half time shows he can do it if he really needs to and if he really wants to. And that game needed changing around. And I do think it was that. I say the knives being sharpened. I don't think he had a Europa Conference League loss in him. And let me just put that into a bit of context. If just put to one side, if I can, that David Moyes didn't know that the fixture list was going to be probably cancelled for Newcastle. David Moyes at the start of the day would never have known, who did, that the Queen was going to sadly pass away. So he'd have been thinking European game, then Newcastle, and he probably would have known if he'd have lost that European game and then gone into Newcastle, the pressure would have been immense, lose the Newcastle game, and people would have been talking about his job. I don't care what anyone says. So that was absolutely massive for him. I do want to say, by the way, hopefully you caught what I had to say and what Gio had to say when we did our video. We mentioned a little bit about the sad news about the passing of the Queen. It's difficult. We didn't know what to do. The game was going ahead. We thought it was best to do a video and then just sort of hope that it was okay. You know, it was really, really hard. And it was difficult. It was a difficult video to do. I just 5 minutes before we went live, my daughter had been on the phone. She didn't stay here last night. She'd been on the phone. She was really upset. She was crying, you know. She's only little. She's only 8, but she was crying. She was very upset, and it was an upsetting call. And I think it was a difficult video to do. So there was a lot of people really, really upset in the chat, and I just think it is terribly sad. So yeah, apologies if you thought we got that wrong in terms of doing the video, but as I say, it's our job. We haven't been media trained, and we just tried to do the best that we possibly could. And I thought everybody in the chat was so brilliant, so respectful, which was great. Anyway, so we don't know what's going to happen over the next few days, really. By the time you watch this video, because I record this very late on Thursday night. I'll tell you what, I've actually recorded this twice, but these little things, which are SD cards, been doing Hammers Chat for 7 years, never had an SD card break. 2 are broken tonight. So there you go. So I'm recording this basically for the third time. But by the time this does get uploaded by Friday morning, you're going to know probably what's going on in terms of the fixture schedule, and there'll be a little bit of guidance from government in terms of there'll be a period of mourning and everything. So I guess as a sort of result of that, there's not going to be the Newcastle game. Not having the Newcastle game will probably mean that the players get to spend a week on a training ground. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing for the team itself, because they do look a little bit disjointed. David Moyes is clearly wanting to do this. I say transition. I don't think it's necessarily tactics. I've said before, it's more intent. I don't think it matters if you're going to play 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 4 at the back, whatever. If your intent is to sit back and defend, it doesn't really matter what formation you've got. It's not so much formation, because I think we tweak formation. It's more the playing style. And I want to talk about that playing style a little bit, because I think if they can spend a week on the training grounds without the in-between match, that's really going to help that. I think it was really evident. There was a point when Kehrer was on, when Rice was on, Flynn Downs and Paqueta, and I thought the passing amongst them, and Fornells as well, was really, really good. And I thought that was good to see. And I think we got a little glimpse and maybe what David Moyes is trying to do. And I want to see the conclusion of his vision with that, you know. And I was fearful that if he'd have lost this and then lost against Newcastle, he would have put him under so much pressure. I don't know if he'd been sacked in 2 games, but it would have put him under so much pressure that he would have felt, he almost retreated back into himself. He might have thought, I can't play this expensive game. I'm going to have to sort of grind it out and get 0-0s and get 1-0s for the rest of the season and sort of keep my job. So I think this was really important to allow him a little bit of freedom to sort of for him and the team to sort of express themselves. Really, we'll talk about Flynn Downs in a minute. I was absolutely delighted. But I mean, the conditions were tough, by the way, to play football in. Really, really tough. So it was absolutely bucking it down, wasn't it? So that was going to be it was always a bit of a level. I just thought they handled it better than us. I wrote down 3 words. I always make notes during the game for the post-match review and for our player ratings, which we do the following day. Bullied, intimidated and distracted were the 3 words that I used, and I thought that was really the case in the first half. Before I go any further and talk about being bullied, intimidated and distracted, please let me distract you with news of this video sponsor, which is the Spitch Football app. Actually, I say the Spitch Football app, it is actually a fantasy football game and not just a football app. Now, you can get involved with Spitch by clicking the link below. Please do use the link below rather than just going and generically searching it, because then they'll know you've come from Hammers Chat. Why would you want to download it? Well, you might just want to join myself and Gio in our little Hammers Chat mini league. It's fantasy football. You can overspend on it, have all the superstars you want. Gonzo's Galacticos is what I haven't actually called that mine. Maybe I should. You can pick all the best players that you want. You start a little bit of a deficit, but it's perhaps not as strict as other fantasy football games you played in the past. Now, you've got a pay-to-play game or many, many free games. Now, for that reason, it is 18 and above. The prizes are huge, actually, up to £70,000 worth of prizes each and every week. But even the free-to-enter games have a prize pool. So there's a free-to-enter Premier League game, which starts fresh every week. So it doesn't matter if you miss the first few. I think that was £600 on the last game week. There was a prize pot on that. Anyway, check it out. Click the link below and join us on our mini league, the Hammers Chat mini league, on the Spitch app. So, distracted. Well, I can't remember. I said bullied, intimidated, and distracted. That was it. I mean, they really were. I felt that the FCSB really put us out of our stride in that first half. So it took us a while to get back into it. But I want to talk about a few of the positives and really none of the negatives, actually, because I do think that's important. I think had we lost, I've been all very ready to criticise Moyes, but actually I think he noticed what was wrong and he turned it around with his substitutions, and they were excellent substitutions. Just have a little chat about Bowen. I thought, it just goes to show what confidence can do. I thought the penalty, and it must have been tough because he was stood there for a long time, but the way he dispatched it, high and mighty, firm and fruity, gave him the necessary confidence to really start running at the defence. I thought he was bordering on unplayable by the end of it. And that sort of performance will really stick in David Moyes' mind. David Moyes would have known that he was in a little bit of trouble. He would have known that he might have got some flack from the fans. He certainly would have got a lot of flack from the media. So he's probably going to look at Bowen and Antonio and Fornals, and he's probably going to think, actually, you lot dug me out of it, and that does a hell of a lot for trust, doesn't it? So I thought that was really good. Antonio was sensational when he came on. Unplayable, really. Brilliant to score a goal like that. You know, the strength, the turn, the skill, the acceleration. I think I keep waiting for Antonio to get slower, but it's not really happening. I'm really pleased about that. And I don't just mean just because of age. He seems to put on more muscle than he had before, but I'll tell you what, he hasn't slowed up at all. Looked really, really good then. Great goal for now. Was instrumental moving the ball forward so quickly, so efficiently as well. Really pleased to see him play like that. Paqueta as well was trying to link up. Some nice passes, nice little dink pass. Lovely pass near the end for Antonio, like sort of split the defence. I think Antonio was so appreciative of the pass, he turned around and actually tried to set Paqueta in, who'd made a late run into the box. That was really good. But Akira as well, just so pleased with the way he's playing. Best pass of the game is sort of in the right back position. Pinged it to whoever was playing left wing at the time. Might have been Cornet, might have been Ben Rama. They swapped about halfway through the first half, didn't they? Great pass. I mean, I thought it's travelling for so long. I thought the defender's going to be able to read it. But it was inch perfect. What a great player he is. And you will have to put up with me saying, I wonder what he'd be like at right back up until the point where he plays at right back. But I'm not saying he's no good at centre half. Keep him playing at centre half. But I'd be interested when everyone's fit. Be really interested to see. That being said, this passing thing that we had in the second half, imagine having a gird to that as well. I think that this is what I'm saying. Like I said earlier on in the video, I'd really like to see what Moyes' vision for the team is. But he has to keep his job for that to happen, and for that to keep his job, he's obviously going to get wins. Flynn Downs, fantastic. I make no apologies for saying it's like the Ron Greenwood style. Ron Greenwood used to say, always have a picture in your mind before you receive the ball. Always know what you want to do. I remember Trevor Brooking speaking about Greenwood and just speaking about this ethos. And you can absolutely see it with Flynn Downs, and I mentioned it in the review, but it's a case of the ball's coming, before the ball even comes towards him, he looks over that shoulder, he looks over that shoulder, not only to see where his teammate is, see where the opposition player is. If the opposition player's there, he's just gonna, he'll know where his teammate is, he'll just knock it back to him. So simple. He makes it look simple. So simple to play with your head up, you'd think, but I find so few do it. It's just that awareness, and I guess you've got to be so comfortable with your technique at the ball at your feet. You're not having to constantly look down at your feet, but just looking around. I think that was a really, really important performance from him. When I spoke earlier on about David Moyes being sort of grateful for the players that really turned it round in that second half, I think maybe Flynn would have earned. I say Flynn, not a name. Flynn would have. I said it again, didn't I? Flynn Downs. Would have certainly earned some trust in David Moyes' mind, because whilst there were a few problems in the first half, Flynn Downs certainly wasn't one of them. Wasn't overly impressed with the fullbacks, to be fair. Anyway, I said I'll keep it. You know what? I said I'll keep it very positive, and there were a lot. And I am pleased. I do think it's important when you come from behind and you do those substitutions that you do speak positively about the game. I did not enjoy the first half. I hated it. It was horrible. I enjoyed the second half a lot. I mean, a lot. And you know what? I think it might, whilst the circumstances are bad that it's happened, as I say, it might do the team a bit of good to not play a game, to not play 2 games in a week. Obviously, there'll be a backlog. You'll have to catch up at some point, but it might not do us too much harm just to, push the Newcastle game away to spend a week on the training ground. And just when you saw there was one point, really lovely passing triangle between Declan Rice, Paqueta and Flynn Downs, to be able to work on those sort of things. Where that would leave Thomas Souček, I don't know. I guess Thomas Souček comes in for the next game anyway, but I certainly think that Flynn Downs has given David Moyes something to think about.